Have you ever walked into a room and instantly felt that something wasn't right? Maybe nothing looked unusual, but deep inside, you knew something was wrong. Today's mystery isn't just a story. As you listen, you'll naturally improve your English listening skills, learn useful vocabulary through context, and discover how native speakers tell stories. At the end, I'll test your understanding with 3 quick questions. So relax, listen carefully, and let's begin. Daniel had been traveling all day. After 2 delayed flights and a long taxi ride, he finally arrived at the Grand Riverside Hotel just after 11 at night. He was exhausted. His only plan was simple: check in, take a shower, go to sleep. The receptionist greeted him with a friendly smile. "Good evening, sir. Welcome." After checking his passport and reservation, she handed him a key card. Room 507. Daniel thanked her, picked up his suitcase, and walked toward the elevator. The hotel was unusually quiet. Too quiet. The elevator doors opened slowly. He stepped inside. Only one button was glowing. 5. The doors closed. As the elevator moved upward, Daniel noticed something strange. For just a second, the lights flickered. Then everything returned to normal. He smiled to himself. It's probably nothing. When he reached the 5th floor, the hallway was completely empty. Soft yellow lights reflected on the carpet. Room 507 was the last room at the end of the corridor. Daniel inserted the key card. A green light appeared. The door unlocked. He pushed it open. The room was dark. He reached for the light switch. Click! The lights came on. Daniel froze. Someone had already been there. The bed was unmade. A suitcase stood beside the window. A jacket hung over the chair. Half a cup of coffee sat on the desk. Someone's phone charger was plugged into the wall. Daniel immediately stepped back into the hallway. "Excuse me?" he called softly. No answer. He looked around once more. The bathroom door was slightly open. Water was dripping from the sink. Someone had definitely used this room. Without entering any farther, Daniel quietly closed the door. He hurried back downstairs. The receptionist looked surprised. "Is something wrong, sir?" "I think someone is already staying in room 507. She frowned. "That's impossible." She checked the computer. "It says the room is empty." Daniel shook his head. "It isn't. There was luggage. There were clothes. Someone has been there." The receptionist looked confused. She picked up the telephone and called security. Within 2 minutes, a security officer arrived. "I'll come with you." The 3 of them returned to the 5th floor. Daniel's heart was beating faster than before. The officer opened the door. The lights came on. Daniel stared silently. Everything had changed. The room was perfectly clean. The bed looked untouched. No suitcase, no jacket, no coffee, nothing. The security officer slowly looked around. "I don't see anything." Daniel couldn't believe it. "I swear, it looked completely different." The receptionist smiled politely. "Perhaps you entered the wrong room." Daniel looked at the number on the door. He was certain. It was this room. The officer searched the bathroom. Nothing. Closet, empty. Under the bed, nothing. Finally, he smiled. "I think you've had a very long day." Daniel felt embarrassed. Maybe they were right. Maybe he was simply tired. The receptionist apologized and offered him a complimentary breakfast. Daniel thanked them. This time, he stayed in the room. He locked the door, checked every corner. Everything seemed normal. Around 2 in the morning, Daniel woke suddenly. He wasn't sure why. The room was silent. Then, he heard it. 3 slow knocks. Knock, knock, knock. Someone was at the door. Daniel walked quietly toward it. He looked through the peephole. Nobody. The hallway was empty. He opened the door anyway. Nothing. Only silence. As he turned to go back inside, he noticed something lying on the floor. A small white envelope. There was no name, no room number, Only one sentence written in black ink. "I'm sorry they gave you my room." Daniel frowned. His hands began to shake. He quickly looked down the hallway, still empty. He returned inside and locked the door. The next morning, he carried the envelope to the reception desk. The same receptionist was waiting there. "Good morning." Daniel placed the envelope on the counter. "I found this outside my room." She picked it up. Her smile disappeared. She became unusually quiet. After several seconds, she finally spoke. "Would you mind waiting here?" She disappeared into the manager's office. 10 minutes later, the hotel manager invited Daniel inside. He closed the door gently. Then he asked a strange question. "Did anyone tell you the history of room 507? Daniel shook his head. The manager, 5 years ago, a guest passed away in that room during the night. Since then, every few years, a guest reports finding luggage, an unmade bed, and sometimes a white envelope." Daniel stared at him. Neither of them spoke for several seconds. Finally, Daniel asked quietly, "So, who leaves the envelope?" The manager looked down at the desk, then answered with only 4 words. "We've never found out." Now let's review 5 useful English expressions from today's story. Exhausted means extremely tired after a long day. Flickered means the lights flashed on and off for a short moment. Hallway is the long passage that connects rooms inside a building. Peephole is the small hole in a hotel door that lets you see who's outside without opening it. Mind if is a polite way to ask permission, such as, "Mind if I sit here?" Now let's see how much you understood. Question 1. Why did Daniel return to the reception desk the first time? A. His key card didn't work. B. Someone appeared to be staying in his room. C. He wanted a different floor. The correct answer is B. Question 2. What did Daniel find outside his room during the night? A. A suitcase. B. A hotel key. C. A white envelope. The correct answer is C. And the final question. According to the hotel manager, what was unusual about room 507? A. It had electrical problems. B. Guests sometimes reported seeing signs that someone had already been there. C. It was the oldest room in the hotel. The correct answer is B. Did the room really have another guest? Or was there another explanation? What do you think happened? Tell us your theory in the comments. If you enjoyed improving your English through mystery stories, subscribe to English Scorecard. Every week, you'll discover a new mystery, learn new vocabulary naturally, and become a more confident English speaker. Until next time, keep listening, keep learning, and keep your eyes open, because not every mystery stays inside the story.